So we do get a lot of comments about the kitchen project and the cottage project. If you're new to our channel, last year we wanted to start remodeling our Chateau kitchen, but things didn't go as planned.
With the kitchen project in mind, we knew we needed to have a temporary kitchen.
There's really no room in here to put a temporary kitchen in.
We figured it would be in the cottage because it already had a little kitchen in it. It just needed to be refurbished.
Yeah, we were kind of naive going in there, like, yeah, we're just gonna hook up the water, and then once we really.
But you know, it's like the first step. Okay, you got to clean it up. Then you've got peeling paint on the walls and on the ceiling, and plaster coming down from the ceiling.
Yeah, not a good environment to cook in.
Right. We quickly realized it was a bigger project than it was, but it was still better to do that first, to have a kitchen that we can use and go eat in and have a nice meal.
Or have a place maybe we could go sleep if it's just too much for us. But
this will be a mess.
And this is going to be a big mess. A lot of people were like, well, why didn't you just do the kitchen first? It seems, it's in your chateau, it seems counterproductive to start something else.
It's a really big project. We have to block off basically, you know, this end of the chateau to keep the dust from getting every place. It's huge. We're taking down walls, we're rearranging it, plus we're getting all new appliances, or new to us, because Amanda wants to get a La Cornue stove, large one.
Right, I want a bigger one, and brand new.
They're 6 figures.
They're 6 figures. I know, you're thinking, what the? She's crazy. But I think I could probably find an older one that's been refurbished.
Yeah, or maybe we could do some refurbishment.
We'll see, and that's probably taking on too much, but similar to the La Cornue that I found,
right.
The little one that's going to go into the cottage, brand new, they're about
50,000 or
yeah, they're about, the little one that I bought, I found is brand new. It's about 50,000 euros. The La Cornue Chateau line are handmade in France, and I've been lucky enough to cook on several. They're incredible workhorses and super fun to cook on. We realized how neglected that cottage was, and how we didn't want to lose it, you know, crumbling down and damp and everything. So I think it was, you know, to the average viewer, it might have been not made sense to them, but for us, we want to save that building.
Right. Well, you know, when you drive around here, you see some old cottages where, you know, the roof has caved in and no one's using it. And there are even some where it's a huge bush or tree, and then you realize there's an old cottage under it. It's just completely overgrown, and it's just the stone left. All the wood has rotted away. You
know, this kitchen it's not my ideal kitchen. I mean, there's so many things wrong with it, but it's
usable.
It's usable. We're kind of rebuilding an entire house while having to deal with the chateau. So there's a lot of projects going on, and it's fun and it's exciting, and our brains are jumbled. It's just a lot happening right now. We're going into the holidays. We have all these cats. Ultimately, I think it's helpful to live in a dysfunctional kitchen because you know exactly what you don't want and how to design things. Like, for instance, this kitchen absolutely has no counter space. I mean, there's nowhere to prep food. It's really frustrating. So this is really the only area where you can use a cutting board, but there's a problem because there's a seam here, but it's not even. So if I wanted to put my cutting board over here, when I'm chopping, it's wobbling. So that is the most annoying thing possible. So I kind of have to either squish it over here or use a tiny cutting board here or a big cutting board here. And then the same thing goes for over here. There's a seam that was put in and it's all wonky. So you really don't have much space, and this isn't helpful for cooking because it's right where the dishwasher is, where the sink meets. You have this little tiny, this tiny space, which is kind of useless as well. There's not a lot of cupboard space. You know, we have like glassware in this one, glassware over there, spices. So of course my biggest pet peeve is having my washer in the kitchen. The original one that was here when we moved in, it just broke down on us, maybe I think a year ago. So we had to get a new one, but in order to install it, we had to rip up some of the floor over here. It's gonna be so much fun to demo all this. I can't wait. Then we have these shallow, useless shelves with a delightful pink and green cork backing to match the tiles below, which give the kitchen a totally 80s vibe. I cleaned up before I shot this video, but normally there's just sort of junk piled up. I shouldn't say that, should I? I did paint the window just to brighten it up, and a part of me was thinking, oh my gosh, this is like putting lipstick on a pig, because the rest of the kitchen is such a disaster. But it did brighten things up a little bit. And you can see where we originally started removing the tile. There was tile all around this part of the kitchen, which matches that tile. And I actually think this looks better because I can't stand that tile down there. REOLINK is back sponsoring another video, which is terrific because I can show you how safe and secure we feel since installing the Altis PT Ultra camera along with their video doorbell. Thanks to REOLINK, I've been able to identify this annoying baguette salesman and tell him to get lost. The Altis PT Ultra is an industry-leading 4K continuous recording camera. The camera has a wireless design, so setup and installation are super easy. And with over 500 days of battery life, the camera can run for over a year on just one charge. Thanks to the REOLINK app, I can monitor who's been coming and going from anywhere at any time, as well as customize my recording schedule. REOLINK also has Color X nighttime vision, so we can keep an eye on our pet bats. Experience an extra layer of enhanced security with the REOLINK Smart Video Doorbell. It supports 24/7 continuous motion triggered and scheduled recording day or night. You can receive push notifications and even answer a visitor's call for a direct conversation. Who is it?
I'm the baguette delivery man.
I love this feature in which you can set customized responses for times when you're completely occupied.
Va-t'en, s'il vous plaît.
The baguette man left in a huff after I told him my cat could bake better bread. The Altis PT Ultra and the video doorbell are great additions to your security, whether for outdoor, indoor, or off-grid use. So head to our link in the description to visit REOLINK's Black Friday Sales, where you can get your security solutions at the best price of the year, up to 43% off. Thanks again, REOLINK. So I don't know about you, but every time I go into somebody's house that I'm friends with, obviously, it's fun to see what people have in their refrigerators and what they eat. Our refrigerator is quite small. We're not used to having something this small. Europeans eat differently than Americans. They don't need the big giant side-by-side fridges because you shop here more often, your food is more fresh. So France is a little bit different than the US. The French like to go shopping more on a daily basis than in the US. You know, you go and you fill your cart with everything and then you're good for like a week or two. I mean, I know for us, we're at the store almost every day. And I don't know if it's because our refrigerator's much smaller than we're used to, but it's just sort of the way we live now. So this is our little fridge. Okay, I'll start with the top shelf. Have some yeast, and then of course you need your French butter. This is unsalted butter. This is the butter with the sea salt crystals, and this is the best butter on the planet. We have almond butter, yogurts. Now French yogurt is amazing, and it's so fun that they come in these little pots, right? And then you can reuse them or just recycle them. More yogurt, fresh lettuce. What else do we have? Blinis, these are really good. Now this is my favorite thing in the world. This is a passion fruit jam. I don't know if it's a jam, but this is so good. I like this. I like this because it's not sickly sweet. I have some homemade chicken stock, and you'll usually see cornichons in a French person's refrigerator. These are great, little baby pickles. Dijon mustard, and this is duck fat, and I only use that pretty rarely, but for roasted potatoes. The family seems to like that. And I keep any nuts in the fridge. Nuts go bad quickly with the oils, so always good to keep those in the fridge. And we are trying to store everything in glass and no more plastics. What we've noticed is we're starting to see more vegan and vegetarian prepared foods in the supermarkets. So these are just vegetable balls. So I don't know. We'll see how those are. We always have mascarpone in our fridge. Lincoln has that with his toast in the morning. I know it sounds weird, but it works for him. Yes, we have Hellmann's mayonnaise. Don't give me shit for using Hellmann's. We make our own, but sometimes you need the Hellmann's. So over here is a pantry area, and we have some storage in here. So these are, decent. They're decent. And of course we have them kind of filled to the gills. Oh, so the one thing, I'm really going off course here. The one thing we request from the US is spicy brown mustard. We cannot find this here in France. I'm sure I can order it online, but my mom sometimes sends a box for us. And the kids requested Trader Joe's fat-free refried beans. You can buy fresh heavy cream. I think Lincoln accidentally got this one. You find a lot of the milk products here in France are packaged in this. Products that can sort of sit in your cabinet. I mean, they're still great quality, but I prefer the fresh. But it's good to have these in your pantry if you're out. Hot honey, Goya, chipotle peppers. These are fantastic. I don't have enough room for all of my pots and pans in the kitchen, so I've moved them to a closet in our dining room for now. The wall on the right will come down completely, opening up the kitchen into what's currently a hallway. We're hoping to reuse those cabinets in our new kitchen, and these cabinets will stay as is. We purchased this oven, and the other thing that I can't get used to and I don't understand, the European ovens are so tiny. They're not wide enough. So that's why I want to have a really nice stove. And this is actually an extra refrigerator, and you can see I was kind of toying around with painting them, but I gave up on that. So this is what we have to look at now. And then there's this awkward area above the oven that's just for stuff. So I think the only redeeming quality about this kitchen, aside from these beautiful windows, is this fun little cabinet here, which now that we installed the newer washer, you can't open it. So you have to open the washer in order to open the drawer. This is a cool little baguette bag. You just store your baguette and close the drawer. And I think I'm going to try to implement something like that in our new kitchen because I think it's really cool. Because we go through a lot of baguettes. We never use that. I just put our baguettes in a baguette bag, and that sort of keeps them fresh. Before the weather got bad last night, I put out a couple of extra houses for the cats with some straw just to make sure they stayed warm because it is really miserable out here. And we also put the doors back onto the cottage, the doors and windows. Oh, and I can't even get in here. It's like it's locked. I'm locked out. Well, we're supposed to be headed out to the grocery store.
Yes, we are.
We have to pick up our groceries, but you don't want to go because you're worried about the roads?
Well, yeah, we go up over a big hill, so it's not the best time to be doing that.
I know.
It's very slushy.
We don't have snow tires because it doesn't really snow here that often.
Right, just bad timing, I guess.
I know, but we're hungry. This is the first snow of the year, and it's not that common. They don't sand, but what they do is the municipality comes along and they drop off piles of sand
On the hills.
on the hills in case you get stuck and you need. But then I guess you have to have a shovel in your car, right?
That's what I was saying. If you don't have a shovel, you gotta have a shovel.
Yeah, so we need to get a little shovel in case that happens to us, since we don't have snow tires.
But they haven't put the sand out yet this year.
Yeah, there's no sand. I guess it's just this was unexpected and early, so, but it looks like they got a decent amount of snow over here compared to where we are. Wow, look at the amount of snow they got up here. Okay, one last thing. I've never had a pet that looked like a human before. Well, I had a cat who sort of had Madonna's nose. This is Pancake. Take a good look at him. I think he looks like the actor Barry Keoghan. Do you see the resemblance? Or am I totally nuts? Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.